And please welcome to the stage new faces of tech, Sequoia Blodgett, Maisha Robinson, and Naja Roberts to the show. Sequoia, nice, thank you.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Maisha.
How you doing, Maisha?
Thank you so much.
How you doing, Donny? All right.
All right, give these ladies a round of applause. Ladies, love what you're doing. Sequoia Venture Capital Engine you work for, right? M13. Maisha, founder of UCrowd, we'll talk about that. And Naja, I know you want to hold on a second. She's in the cryptocurrency. She's in the whole Bitcoin thing. We'll get to that. But you guys, very successful. You guys have carved out a niche for yourself. But I can imagine it hasn't always been easy in this tech world. Maisha, how difficult has it been to get to where you are right now?
Well, the tech industry, I kind of stumbled into tech. It was something that I didn't naturally just gravitate towards. So I started working online. I started looking on YouTube and how to build websites, and I built blogs throughout college. That's kind of how I got into the tech industry. The most difficult thing that I have faced was really the funding. With tech industry and trying to navigate through that and raise funds for my companies to build my platform. But I've been blessed thus far, and I've been able to fund with my own funding so far.
Well, that's what this was all about. Make your own money so you can do your own thing.
Yeah, so she must be a venture capitalist herself.
That's what I'm talking about. They don't want to give it to you, do it for yourself. That's what a lot of black people do when it comes to the record industry, and so it's the same thing in the tech industry.
I go get my own money.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
That's why it look like the money. Sequoia, what about you?
So my career started in the music video industry. I started as a commercial music video director. Okay. Our industry was hit by tech. So when
what do you mean by that? Okay.
When Spotify, Netflix, and all the streaming services popped up, the record labels didn't embrace the industry. So essentially it disrupted the industry. So every budget that we were getting, I was getting $250,000 budgets dropped to like 20,000.
Okay.
And now you can't survive. So I packed it up, moved to Silicon Valley, dove headfirst into a very green industry for me, and basically started a company. And then from there, I was able to secure venture capital, got the company funded, and the rest is history.
The company.
So at the time, that company was 7 a.m. Since I have transitioned out of that, I'm at a venture capital firm now. And the reason I'm there is because I started another company after that and then basically sold that company to this venture capital
firm. Because you were doing so well, they just wanted to kind of eat that company and have you work for them instead of being a competition.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, well, there was no way I was going to compete with them, so let's start there.
Who knows? I mean, you could have grown.
Not when they have $200 million under assets under management, so we'll start there. But the thing was, they needed the employable skills that I had. So it was necessarily about the technology that I'd built. It was more so about what I brought to the table. And I had already vetted the type of entrepreneurs that they were looking for. I had already built a platform in terms of what they were looking for their company. So they said, hey, instead of us going and doing this whole thing over with somebody who's green, who's just coming into the ecosystem, let's hire Sequoia, bring her company in, and then build off of that.
Making yourself an asset.
Hold on, Mike, I want to ask her one thing.
Go ahead.
So, you know I'm in that money. Like, what did you sell it for? 6 figures, 7 figures, 8?
You in a business like that?
So here's, without getting too granular, it's all about equity, right? So for me, I came on as an employee with a great salary, and within that, our investments are like Lyft and Pinterest and like all these very huge D2C direct-to-consumer businesses. So I take a percentage of every exit that we have.
I like you. You know how to do it.
Yeah, look at it. He got money in his eyes, like his gleam. That's what I'm saying. You know, Donny used to be in the record business too, but it was when you had to actually crank up the record player back in the day.
I was in the record business when a $250,000 budget, $500,000 budget, and we used to steal a lot of money.
I know. Another day for another story for another show. But yeah.
We're gonna do that. Naja, this is like your first tech job, like getting into cryptocurrency. You were in the financial industry, and now this is you're in the tech industry. How's that like?
Absolutely. So I fell into the tech industry, being in money, loving money, trying to understand how money actually works. Got a lot of surprises in the industry of money, realizing that we have a misconception about who actually prints money, how money works, who controls it, all those things. So when I was introduced to Bitcoin, I was intrigued by the fact that it is a money that allows us to be our own bank. It is not double and triple spent, which it is done in our community. You put your money in the bank, you loan it to her, 15% interest, loan it to her, you get another. So they're triple spending our money. And so Bitcoin gave me the opportunity or the enlightenment that we could finally bank, be in control of our own destiny, finally. And when the markets crash and different things happen, we won't be a part of that because we are banking ourselves. So came out of traditional finances, dove in head first, as we say in the cryptocurrency blockchain world. I went down a rabbit hole. September of 2017, I looked up, I had a firm, told my husband I wasn't going back to work, and I started learning and started reading and consuming any information I could get, going to conferences. Everywhere I went, I was the only person that looked like me.
How did that work out for you? The only person, the only black woman in the world.
And I used to dress up because I came from traditional finances. And when I started wearing T-shirts and my Chuck Taylors and my Holy jeans, I fit in with the millionaires that are sitting in these.
Because that's what they're wearing.
That is what they're wearing. And so I started, again, reshaping because I've been an entrepreneur for 26 years. Last job was at the DMV. You know why I quit. So, anyways, I started really realizing that, hey, I'm sitting next to somebody transferring $100 million to another cryptocurrency account, and he has holes in his pants, holes in his shoes, and here I am dressed up, and I'm a sore thumb. So this is my signature gear, not this skirt, but my jeans and my tennis shoes, and I fit in that industry. And they're more apt to share with me because they don't feel as though I don't want to say aggressive, because I'm aggressive.
Right.
I don't back down, but I'm not what they think, I'm not.
You don't fit that whole stereotype. We get, and that's a topic for another show too, because a lot of times we feel like we got to wear Gucci, we got to wear all the Prada, we got to do all that and dress up in these suits. Well,
ain't nothing wrong with it.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I'm not saying anything bad.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, good. You should look good. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying some of the people that are the biggest billionaires, the wealthiest people in the world, you would never know that they're wealthy because there is not one thing on their body that's worth more than $40. But I'm just saying.
Oh, I understand that, Mac, but
that's another topic for another show.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I want to get back to how does cryptocurrency work, because I don't know, and I want to get some of that money. So tell us how we all know how does cryptocurrency work.
So cryptocurrency is a digital money. It is stored on your cell phone. Just so you know, cryptocurrency in its state right now is just sort of like the stock market. There's over 3,000 coins right now that we don't even understand. Disney has a coin, Hollywood has a coin, Pepsi-Cola has a coin, Nike has a coin, and if we don't start learning how these coins are going to work in the future, we're going to be left behind. But it's just digital currency.
Is it like Apple Pay when you talk about they have the different coins or whatever? It's like Apple Pay has its own coin. Is that the same thing?
So in a sense, and so it takes a lot of understanding, but it's digital money that you hold on your cell phone. And if I want to buy her Gucci purse, and she's willing to trade it for Bitcoin, then she can accept my Bitcoin and I can take her. It's bartering. We've been bartering for millions of years.
Right.
But right now we barter a dollar that is made by the Federal Reserve.
Right.
It is not our U.S. government. Federal Reserve is no more federal than Federal Express that delivers packages. The banks are who run the Federal Reserve. So when they want to print money, they just do that. And what happens is we have catastrophes like 2008, 2009, where our folks are left standing and the dollar's not worth anything. What is happening that we're not Bitcoin is being used in all other countries.
It is.
And the United States is suppressing it. So what I aim to do is for our community is make sure we're knowledgeable so that when this thing does collapse and the rest of everybody's running around wondering what happened, we have already set ourselves up to understand the technology behind Bitcoin. Because it's not really just about that money. It's a technology.
Right.
Bitcoin is just an app, like on your phone, it's an app.
Right.
The technology is what we need to learn.
Maisha, I see you nodding your head. You agree with everything she's saying there?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's definitely the future of currency, period, online. A lot of my friends got into cryptocurrency over the recent years. I kind of dipped and dabbled into it, but I'm really just learning more about the industry, and everything she's saying is absolutely true.
Is all cryptocurrency good?
All cryptocurrency is not good. That's why we have an educational center.
Let me stop right now because I got some Bitcoin a couple of years ago, and it was at the height when everybody was buying the Bitcoin. Everybody buy Bitcoin, and I don't even look at it no more because it depresses the hell out of me.
Right, right.
Why is that?
Absolutely.
Because it fell. I mean, I bought my Bitcoin was like 9,000 per Bitcoin at that time. And then, like 3 months later, it was down.
Wait.
Yeah.
You said 9,000.
9,000 a Bitcoin.
For a Bitcoin.
Well, you'll be happy.
$9,000 for
You'll
a
be
Bitcoin.
happy because today it's back up to about 8,500.
Hey, so
we're climbing back.
I'm climbing back.
So you haven't lost anything. It's just like a stock.
Well, that's why I haven't looked at it.
If you buy a stock and the stock goes down, you didn't lose that stock. It's going to rise back up based on what that company says, but we are the ones that dictate the price of Bitcoin.
And that's what my brother says, like in 2021,
Yes.
2022, just hold on to
Just
it, it'll
hold
be
it.
right, it'll come
How
back.
many Bitcoins you have?
I got 3.
Okay.
I bought 3 at
That's
the
wonderful.
that's
Every
good
family
money.
should have one.
I'm going to get some more.
We'll start with every family needs one, and I'm going to let you guys.
I'm gonna get it. You know, I want to talk more
One.
about because the industry in tech, especially women in tech, has been difficult. I mentioned some of the stats. Silicon Valley, 5% of Silicon Valley black people, they identify as black as the employees, and only 1% of women there. So when you talk about Black Twitter, that shit's an oxymoron. Black Twitter exists online, but not with the people who work there. Why do you think that's the case?
It's relationship based. So I had a situation where I was applying to Facebook. It took 6 months. And the process is you have to have allies internally. So what a lot of people don't understand is when you're applying to a major tech company, you can't just submit an application and hope for the best because they're never going to see it. The likelihood of them seeing it is like slim to none.
Okay.
So you have to have relationships in the building. Also understand that when someone says, hey, you know, I'm interested in applying to this role, that person gets paid. So there's an incentive. So if I'm working inside of Facebook's walls, I'm more incentivized to bring your application to the forefront because I know I'm getting a check from it, right? So if I have 30 friends over here who are white and whatever, I'm bringing those applications and that's who you're seeing fill those roles. So within my process of applying recently as in like, I would say earlier this year, going through that process, I think the big thing was I had allies internally. And so I was able to navigate in ways that I would not have been able to navigate. And you just said it, it's 1% female, 5% African American. Facebook has a larger mass when it comes to African Americans, but that's your select in terms of your pool internally in the organization. So if the rest of the organization is 90-something%, you know, not to say that it's skewing that bad because I doubt it, but you're going to see more of those faces.
But I hear what you're saying, and Donny, but you can say that for all the corporations out there because for the most part, except in my business where we actually send a resume reel and you can see my face and see that I'm an African American, I'm a black man, resumes don't have a name or they don't have a face on it. So how do they know that you're black or not? And somebody's getting hired, like I said.
It's not even that. It's not even a black or white thing when you're submitting a resume. Your resume is just not getting seen. Right?
So you have to have the person on the inside taking that resume in
Exactly.
there. Okay,
and if there's
so
a majority of those people are white, then that's the majority of what you're going to see internally.
You saw the same thing there, Maisha?
Oh, absolutely. In any industry, it's the same kind of ideal that anyone of color that are applying for these positions, during the hiring process, your resume is not getting seen, it's not getting to the right person. So you're in this situation where you're kind of stuck. And you have to reach out to people. It's important to network with people. It's important to build those relationships because you need those allies, not only on the inside, but also within other companies as well, just so you can get your foot through the door.
Are there any black tech firms, like big black tech firms like Facebook?
They're up and coming. There's a lot of different, and as she alluded to, funding is a big problem for most tech companies that are trying to get up to the status that Facebook and those, but there's a lot of small black companies out there.
We got to get to them venture capitalists.
Yes, got to get to them.
I like your story because you saw a need. You said, you know what, man, I see all this money coming through. man, I'm gonna get into this. This is what I'm gonna do. I think that's what we have to do as black people. We see that there is a huge need for technology because that's the way of the future. And everything we do is technology. From the way you buy your clothes, like you said, you can just put your phone right on this pad and you can buy your clothes there, your ATM, everything. So is it something that we need to have ingrained in us as black people now to understand that we don't only have to be on our phones, but we need to be the people behind the scenes coding these phones and these video games that we play every day?
Right.
I think there has to be a situation where we connect with the younger people as well and let them know there's opportunities beyond just sports and entertainment. There's so many opportunities.